Good evening, everybody. I wanted to share with you a little bit about Nearpod's extension, or I'm sorry, add-on with Google Slides. It's pretty cool. It helps you navigate some activities within your Google presentations, and I really find it beneficial now that we're really doing everything virtually, that you can still get that participation with students or with your audience, depending on what you're doing, but within your Google Slide presentation. So it's kind of a nice feature to still feel connected. So pro tip, go ahead and create your Google Slide presentation. So you see it over here, my slide deck. I put this together initially first, and then I went back and embedded the different activities that I wanted to do throughout the presentation. I did do this one virtually, so it was a nice feature. It's very easy to do. All you have to do is, after creating your Google Slides, is go up here to add-ons, and then you will have Nearpod. If you don't have that, then go to Get Add-ons and find Nearpod and add it to your deck here. So then you can just go to Open Nearpod, and what will happen is you'll get this little screen that pops up on the right-hand side. Now, it will ask you to log in. I just log in with Google, and then it takes me to this. So I can edit my lesson, or I can go to Nearpod. So before I do any of that, I'm just going to show you that I've embedded a few activities along the way, and then we'll take a look at what that looks like. So a new feature that Nearpod has is this integration with Flipgrid. So if you want students to do some sort of response, for teachers, you can have them do a Flipgrid response, which they will get a link that takes them directly to that little plus sign, and all they have to do is record the video. Super easy. You just have to plug in 2 URLs, and you'll be able to set that up right there within your Google slide deck. You can also do polls. So you see that I have a multiple choice poll that I've embedded. So I wanted to get some ideas from the crowd. You can also do any links. So if you have something from your Google Drive, you can embed that document right here, and the participants on the other end will be able to see it and be able to manipulate it. You can also share a variety of different other web content. So I had a Google form that I wanted them to fill out. You can add an open-ended question, so you can just get their responses going through whatever that piece of content might be. So I've added a couple of those there. You can also embed videos for people to watch as well. So you have a variety of different options, and there's even more to explore. So if I want to edit this lesson, it's just going to show up all these different interactive tools that I can use with my students. So you can find BBC videos if you want to. You can go on a field trip. You can have them draw something, collaborate, a fill in the blank if you would like. And then you see that Flipgrid integration. And it's really easy. Once you click it, it'll walk you through how to add that Flipgrid. You'll just set up your Flipgrid in Flipgrid and then share those links here in your Nearpod. You can do some 3D activities. So if you want them to explore different places around the world, they can do that right there in 3D. You got some open-ended questions, polls, quizzes. If you embed the slideshow, that'll actually be a second slide deck that they can run through different slides on their own and use. So that's just another thing you can use. There's your web content for any of those links that you might have, whether that's Google Drive or anything out there on the web, and then your videos. So really simple. All you need to do is just really click the slide that you want, and the activity will go directly under it. So no need to create a slide for the activity. I'll just go ahead and push in video. It'll have you edit the slide, takes you to YouTube. So you can put in whatever YouTube you might have of that link. Let's see what that might be. So here is just a tech tutorial on Flipgrid. Maybe I want to integrate that, and I'm going to click Save. Now watch what happens. It's just going to add this slide directly below the slide I was initially on. Goes back to the beginning for some reason. And then you'll have those videos for people to watch. If you don't like the placement of the slide, you can still move it wherever you want in your slide deck. So you still have that option to go through and edit it. All right, so now I want to go to save and go to Nearpod. I'm actually just going, yep. All right, so now what it'll do is it's going to take a bit of time because it was a fairly lengthy slide deck that I had with a lot of different integration tools for participation. So you see that it's saving here. You can also see all the other slide decks that you might have created. So we've created these ones. Nearpod also has different platforms that you can look at as well. I'm not sure about the account access. You might have to pay for some of this, but there are resources in Nearpod itself that you might want to look into and see if that would be helpful for anything that you might be looking for. So it's saving. If we go back, we can just see, here's a video that I added. So people will be able to see that video on the back end once we play it here in Nearpod. So you do have to present in Nearpod when you have this add-on. So in a moment, that Google slide deck will pop up just like these other ones. And then you see you can make it a live lesson or you can make it student paced. A live lesson is going to be where the instructor guides it, and student pace is going to allow students to do it asynchronously. I love that word. And they can do it on their own time. So for the sake of it, we're just going to do the live lesson. It'll initially give you a code to join. So you just go to join.nearpod.com, enter the code that's in that item there, and then you just toggle through and your presentation is in the order that you created it here. So you talk through your slide content. Oops. Here is the video. So I got to a video where I just gave a quick tutorial on how to use Flipgrid. And this time I just put on my device only. So you can play and watch the video right here. Now, if you didn't want to see the video on your screen, because I know sometimes you're in Google Meets and that doesn't work very well, you want them to watch it on your screen, then all you have to do is just click all devices and it'll push out to the people who have joined your code and they'll be able to watch the video as it goes. If we go back, we see that Flipgrid integration tool here. So this is what it looks like on the teacher's end. Here's my grid, looks like I'm in Flipgrid. I want them to go to that, just say hello. I've gotten a few responses here. On the student's end, this is what it looks like. So they would just actually have to push the plus sign and start recording, and then it just walks them through like any Flipgrid would. So all they have to do is scroll down, press that. It brings them to that login screen. They can go ahead and log in, and then it'll start recording them. Again, just like Flipgrid. So I'm gonna go back to that teacher view. I'm gonna walk you through a few other quick features, and then you'll kind of get the idea, and you can play around with that integration of whatever tools you want. So you can push out a poll to your students or your teachers, give them those options. Once they start plugging it in, you can actually share those results and it'll show up on their screen. The students will see this. So they will see the poll question and be able to interact with it and answer it. Okay, and then there's a submit button down here for them to submit. So it's really quite easy. It's pretty self-explanatory in terms of going through, and the students will pick it up pretty easily without any tutorials, especially if you're doing a live lesson. So you can do anything that you want, integrate any of those things. Here's going to be, I believe, a link. So this is the link to my Google Doc, and students can actually manipulate this. So if turn to that student view, they can see the Google Doc on their end, and they can actually go to any of the links that are embedded into this Google Doc here. So if they didn't know what a Nalconian box was, they can click it and see it on their screen without me controlling anything. So kind of fun feature. That goes for any of the web content. Once you give them access to it, they'll be able to manipulate the website and search it however you're wanting them to search. Sometimes though, when you're in this view for teachers, and if you are doing something virtually, you can't actually click your own link, which is a little obnoxious. So let me show you what I mean here in just a moment. The students will be seeing the link. They can access it. So here's the link. I want them to explore the remote learning lessons that Smeckens has put together. I can't click on this and pull up the link. What I would have to do if I'm presenting virtually is have that link already ready up in one of my tabs so I could click to it and navigate it if I'm wanting to do like a recording or just show students something on video conferencing. However, if you're wanting them to explore the link, they'll see it on their end and they'll be able to manipulate the link and explore all the options that are in there. So that is just kind of a quick little thing. So they can click here, it'll bring them to a new window and they can access the link. It's a little annoying that the instructor can't for some reason. Maybe Nearpod will work on that, but the students can. So that's Nearpod. Play around with it. It's a nice integration tool that you can use with your Google Slides. Hope you all have a nice night.